making a new recording again. Finally managed to get picked up, took to a local garage, but now these motherfuckers are claiming that, and this is that Fiat service again, claiming that there is a taxi on the way, supposedly coming very soon, and that was about an hour and a half ago. So again, they are deliberately wasting time. Currently we're in a town called Arras, Arras, and the van has been took to this winner garage, and they were targeting me. I know this is the perps, because they were targeting me in front of the pickup van was a car with one brake light, yeah, and that's just them letting me know that they are doing it. And they're deliberately stalling us, saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna book you a hotel. They're gonna book us a hire car, all that stuff." And we've been waiting 2 hours. So we've been waiting 2 hours, and there's nothing. No taxi has turned up. They're not ringing back. I even heard my dad on the phone, and they were pressing the keys and making it beep, which is a harassment technique they do. I've had that before, but it's just ridiculous. But again, this is deliberate. This is what they do to cause trouble and to make it as difficult as possible. So nothing is turning up. I was basically stood in a very scenic garage. I'm sure you can hear the cars in the background. So yeah, I mean, this is exactly how they try and this isn't a direct attempt to try and ruin the holiday. In my eyes, this is what they've done. This is what they've arranged to happen, and them driving in front was them letting us know that, well, letting me know, because my family don't believe in it, but letting me know that this is what they've done. So yep, this is exactly the kind of stuff that is done as a targeted individual. I mean, you can't tell me it takes 6 hours to arrange, 6 or 7 hours to arrange to be picked up by, a truck. And you can't tell me it takes 2 hours to be picked up by a taxi to sort that out. There's no, even with the language barrier, there's no way that anyone could tell me it takes that long for it to be sorted out. So it's just ridiculous, and again, they're making us wait, which is a tactic that is constantly used as a TI, and many other things. They make you wait a long time, and act like they're serving you, but they're not. So I'll make another recording and let you know what happens. Right, I wanted to do an update at the end of these videos from my holiday on the targeting, which again has been very heavy the last 2 days. It's been extremely heavy since I've got back from France, pretty much from the get-go. After a gradual build-up, it's very heavy. So yesterday, I'll start with yesterday because so much has happened. I went to see this girl from my college, and she wanted me to meet, at the bus station. So as soon as I get to the bus station, after being harassed by the sirens and all kinds of other perps and other things, I get there, and then a police CCTV van goes past, and then again there's another police car towards the other side of the bus station. So, and I think I saw one on the way down. So basically, they're trying to intimidate me. They've been using the police a lot lately to try and intimidate me. So they're trying to intimidate me to not see this girl, which I did. And we ain't got anything sexual going on, but she's just a friend. But yeah, even so, it's like they really don't want me seeing it. And the last time I saw, they targeted me very heavy as well. So I see it, and I guess they hate it. So I'm waiting with her at the bus stop, and then there's this black BMW that keeps driving back and forth, revving the engine to try and intimidate me. Because that seems to be one of the newest tactics, is trying to use cars to intimidate me. Revving or playing music as they go past, which they've done today as well. So I ignore it, get my bus, because I had to get two buses, waiting for my next bus. They're sending the one headlights, one of them horns as it goes past, which is another thing they've been doing a lot lately. They've been pipping and targeting in Aberdeen has texted me as well, saying he's been getting a lot of pipping as well. I'm at my bus stop, and there's people in blue and red looking at the phones, which is another tactic they like to do. They like to stand in front of you, constantly staring at the phone and doing nothing else. But they've again been trying to target me once again with blue and red. So after that happens, they get their bus. Then a guy comes eating a kebab or something like that and making all kinds of weird noises. Yeah, so I ignore him and I start targeting them back. So I start standing behind them because I know that makes them feel uncomfortable when I stand behind them. So I start doing that, and then he starts the usual shit which they've done before, pretending to throw up. Another thing that they've done a lot, well, I say done, they still do it, is they'll get people to come up to me and ask me for a light. That's happened that's happened twice this week. I've had strangers come up to me saying, "Can I have a light?" Along with "Can I have 20p?" That's another one they like to use. That they used to do that all the time at the start of my targeting. They'd be constantly strangers coming up to me asking me for a light, and it'd happen pretty much every day, like several times a day. Well, not several, but probably at least once a day. There'd be someone coming up to me going, "Can I have a light?" So that's stemming back to the early days of my targeting, which is another thing they do. If you're targeted, they'll stop doing something, at least my experience, and then maybe wait a year or two and then they'll do it again. So yeah, but that happens, and I get all these kind of weird homosexual looking guys in flip-flops, and there was a storm last night, wind and rain. So why the fuck are guys in flip-flops? I can only guess the reason for that is I wore flip-flops when I was on holiday. So they're trying to target me, like saying I'm gay for wearing flip-flops or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that happens, and then they're constantly glaring at me and shit like that. So I go home. I'll start with today, like the moped perp. He's at it again, constantly setting his alarm off. I've filmed him a few times, but again, he's fucking up. His moped was breaking up earlier. He was getting pissed off and kicking it. So I think it's faulty. So hopefully it'll break down or something. But he was getting pissed off with it. But yeah. But yeah, I can't even go to a fish and chip shop, which is, a 5-minute walk away, without being extremely heavily targeted. So I go out and I need to get some money. So I go Co-op, and there's these two guys, and I recognise one of them, and he's a perp. As soon as I get there, he disappears, and I get my money. I go back, and then there's this car parked to the side of the road with its lights on, with the windows down, and there's a guy in it. Two guys in it. One guy's smoking a cigarette. They target you with people smoking cigarettes. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they want you to smoke or something. I don't know. But, I go behind it and I look at it, and it's got one brake light, and it's not moving. And it's like these motherfuckers have got nothing better to do, than try target you. There's like sat in it with a cigarette, and he's got the brakes on, because I don't think the brake, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the brakes come on if you have the handbrake on. So he's got the brake pedal on just to target me with the one brake light. Yeah. So I go past. I know what they're trying to do, and they're trying the intimidation tactics. I'll get in on this in a bit later. So I go through this path, and there's a car there. And what does it say on the plate? Something 777. Now I tell you, they've been targeting me with the numbers 666 and 777, and the reason they do that is to try and convince you that this is a spiritual warfare. You'll see so many comments on TI's pages saying this is spiritual warfare, and there's a spiritual side. I'm a very spiritual person, but I know when it's technological and not spiritual, and this is them trying to make me think that it's a sign, or that they're angels and demons, which I know is bullshit, and I know is a tactic that's used. So I go past it. As soon as I go past it, it drives off. Yeah, and there's a van, an Arcado van, that also drives off. So I know I guess the Arcado van is a perp, and they want to see my reaction to the car. So yeah, and I go up the street, and there's people coming out of the houses as soon as I walk past. That's something they do as well. Like, you'll be walking past houses, and then they either mind control them to come out of the house, or they do it consciously. But I've experienced that a lot. Like, I'll be walking past. It happened to me 3 times this evening in a short block. Like, this guy on the way back came out with a dog. These people are really methodical in how they target you. So I go up, and guess what? I'm like, what's the next surprise? There's a woman out in a house looking out of the door randomly. Like you do, just looking out the front door at me. So I go past, and then after that, a car is on the driveway, pulls out and goes past me. So I'm like, what have they got next? So I go up, and they're a car, I think it was a black Audi 4x4 with an Asian guy in it, and I'll get onto that in a minute. There's an Asian guy in it, and as soon as I get there, he stops, goes up the street, and does a 3-point turn. Now I'm near the chip shop now, and near the chip shop there's another car, and that also does a 3-point turn. And that's something they use to target me a lot, to try and intimidate me, to make me think they're going to get out of the car and do something. So yeah, basically, I get my fish and chips, and they glare at me in the chip shop, 'cause you know how they do. They go around spreading rumours about you and all kinds of shit. And last time I was in this chip shop, they were very rude to my friend. So some of them are alright, but some of them are cunts, you know what I mean? But yeah, basically, after that, I go back, and I'm sure something happened again. I can't remember, but I think something happened again. Oh yeah, they had guys in a white BMW, because they're trying to target me from that last incident with a guy who had a white BMW. Which is something they do again. They'll try and remind you of negative experiences that they've set up, yeah, to try and upset you and traumatize you. So that's a very important thing to remember. Earlier as well, today they flew over a Chinook, and I have a video of it. It flew directly over my head, over my flat in line with me, which is what they do. I have multiple aircraft do this all the time, military and civilian aircraft. So yeah. But yeah, I was getting onto the Asian thing. Lately, they have been trying to target me very heavily with Middle Eastern people and black people. Very heavily lately. They've been targeting me with these two ethnicities. That's the correct word, not nationalities. These two ethnicities, which is a fucking tactic that they like to use. They like to try and get you paranoid of certain. They've tried it with Eastern Europeans as well. They like to try and get you paranoid of certain ethnicities, which I'm not, because I know exactly what they're trying to do. So yeah, I get my food. Another tactic they've been doing to me as well, to add, is every time I get my food, they try and intimidate me with the police or with perps. They'll try and intimidate me, psychologically intimidate me with perps dressed aggressively, acting threatening, or they'll send the police, which is what they did last time I went to the supermarket. As soon as I got to the supermarket, a police officer came out of the supermarket. So what they're trying to do basically is get me scared to go out, so I won't eat. Which again, like, is a part of mind control. Nutritional restriction is a part of mind control, as is sleep restriction. So I know, I've done thorough research. I have to thank Nigel Nicholson for, teaching me all this kind of stuff, because I've learned so much from his course. I've mentioned him a lot, but his TalkShoe course, probably the best information I've got on this program. It's helped me a lot to deal with this program, listening to his TalkShoe course. So if you search on TalkShoe Nigel N, and it should say Nigel N's community call, listen to them from the very beginning, like the oldest calls, because they will help you a lot. Also, if you're new to this targeting, I recommend you watch Nappyhead Roots channel to see how they behave, to get an idea of the kind of things and people that you're dealing with here. I recommend Targeting Aberdeen, who is in the UK as well as me. He's experiencing a lot of the same things I am. Some differences in his targeting to mine, but very, very similar. And I constantly talk to him. I text him all the time, and we're always in contact. Also recommend RTTI in NYC, another target individual, though this time, as the name suggests, is in New York, but also experiencing very similar tactics to what I'm experiencing. So that's basically an update on what I've been going through. I've probably missed some things because it's been very intense lately, and it's been basically an onslaught, of targeting. Basically an onslaught of targeting. It's been relentless. Like, seriously, this year has been very, very, probably the heaviest year I've had from the targeting. It's been never ending. It's like they're relentlessly trying to wear me down. The energy weapons has also increased recently. The directed energy harassment. You could call it harassment, can and do cause damage to the body. But yeah, this is what happens in the UK today. Believe it or not, because I once believed it a few years back. It started happening to me. So I'm just gonna finish off my tea, and I'm gonna upload all these recordings. Alright.